going, guys? We back here today. I have Roy, known as Zeneca, in the space, and we're just gonna have a nice conversation on what's happening in the space because there's a lot happening and that a lot that has happened, right? So yeah, man, Roy, nice to have you on the channel again.
It's good to be here. It's been, I think, like a month. We set these calendar things up a month apart. It feels like a year, as generally happens in this space. There's been a ton that has happened.
Yeah, well, I think one of the topics that I would really like to hear, and I think a lot of people listening in as well, is your opinion on this big major ETH merge coming up. Right, it's coming close, and I believe they
Yeah,
said September. I don't know if you know the date um, of that, but
I think they set a date. In my head, it's like the 19th, but don't quote me on that. But yeah, it's coming up, and they delay it. They've delayed it a million times before, but I think everyone is pretty confident. Like this is it. This is the one. It might be delayed by a few days or a week or two, but yeah, September. It looks like it's coming. I don't know too much about it. Like I know what like conceptually what it's aiming to do. It's going to reduce. We'll move from proof of work to proof of stake. It's going to reduce the energy requirements to secure the blockchain by like 99% plus, and basically anyone who has, I believe, 32 ETH can run a validator node and then get rewarded for securing the blockchain, rather than people requiring these sophisticated hardware, graphic cards, etc., that are bad for the environment. That is the gist of it, and I believe so. It's called the merge. So effectively, they've been running this whole fork of Ethereum on another blockchain, a test net, for I think over a year now. And I think that the concept is that they've been merging that with other test blockchains, Ethereum blockchains, and then eventually they're going to merge it with the main net. And
yeah,
logistically, I'm not exactly sure how that works. I had someone ask me the other day, is like, they said I have USDC on, do I have to bridge that, or how is that? And my, like, again, I don't know for sure, but my reaction and inkling, and based on what I sort of hear a bit, is we won't have to do anything. It'll just sort of like hopefully organically and naturally just be like, oh, okay, now we're on proof of stake. But thinking it through, like, I wouldn't be surprised if we have to do some sort of action to, yeah, use this new paradigm. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know, man. Honestly, I'm not. I can't say mad on YouTube, but I am a little bit mad because the thing is, I found out recently that the Rinkeby test network is going to be replaced with another test network. Obviously, like
Mm,
you said, they are testing these out on I believe the Gurley networks now updated, and a few
mm,
others. Um, but it's sad because Rinkeby was like the major one that I always used in all the videos. So
yeah.
all the video content that I've created is going to be kind of people going to struggle. So yeah,
Damn. Why?
yeah,
Why are they removing it?
I have no idea. I think Gurley stays the
Yeah.
same as well as the other one, but yeah, Rinkeby, I don't think it's going to make the cut. I can also be totally wrong here, right? This is our
Yeah.
opinions now, but I have checked because we are busy with the Edenlands metaverse right now, and all the infrastructure is living on the Rinkeby network. So now we had to port over
Mm,
to the Gurney network. So, yeah, I mean that's gonna happen.
yeah.
So people need to be aware of that. I think for me the biggest thing is my ETH is locked away in cold storage. So I really really hope that we do not have to go and bridge this ether somewhere because that's going to be a
Yeah.
hassle.
Hassle and security risk. I got to imagine that we won't have to,
I
because
hope so.
yeah, that would be a nightmare, and a massive potential for scammers and just mistakes and risks. And
Whenever you get a big market thing or this network thing happening, this merge,
mm,
there's going to be so many opportunities for scammers. That's going to tell people, hey, you need
yeah,
to transfer your ether there. So I think it's just important to stay up
yeah,
to date. Don't do anything. Don't rush anything because the thing is,
yeah,
they're going to allow people time to do whatever it is they need to do. Maybe you don't even have to do anything, right?
oh yeah,
but people need to be cautious around
Yeah.
this merge, for sure.
We should, you and I, figure out better what's going on and then create
I
videos
think
for our
so.
audiences and share, because I think that's probably how people learn and can find out this. No, because you and I, we're in the space all day every day, and we still don't at this point really get it or understand what's going on. So I think trying to imagine someone who has a full-time job and they only check in maybe a few hours a week, for them to catch up, it's crazy. So if we can figure out a way to take that information, distill it, and be like, hey, you don't have to do anything. If someone tells you you have to bridge, then it's a scam or something like that.
Yeah.
Then yeah, I'm giving us work.
Yeah, we need to
Yeah.
do our research on this. I have been trying to find out. It looks like there's going to be two options. The first one, you're gonna have to do something, and then apparently the
Mm,
second option is they're going to have the whole ETH chain as a node of the new one, which means that you won't have to do anything. Which I really hope they choose that one.
interesting.
But it's all up in
Yeah.
the air right now. I would rather want to wait until it's out for at least a few weeks until we tell people what to do. I recommend
Yeah.
people do the same. Like I said, there's not going to be this hour gap
If you ever feel FOMO, then that's a scam. Basically.
thing
Well.
that's happening, right, Roy? I don't know if you even know this, but regarding Luna, the Lunar Network, right, and they've made now a new
Mm,
Luna Classic, new Luna token, but Luna Classic is still there, the old token that just simply crashed, right?
mm,
And I was invested in Luna a while back, and unfortunately, it crashed. But now there's a new kind of proposal that got through. And the proposal is to burn 1.2% on each transaction, buying or selling. But that's going to be good for that network. It looks like the community is hanging on to that, to that token.
yeah. Well, I'm happy for the community because a lot of people got burned and lost a lot. And yeah, I was fortunate to not have exposure to it, but you know, being in the space, you could. It was like just the whole week was just catastrophic, basically, and it was a really bad, obviously a really bad thing. And if there's a way for the community to build back, because I heard there are a lot of developers there and builders who are still passionate about the network, maybe reducing some of the risky, whether it's Ponzonomics or like the algorithmic stablecoin elements, and just getting back to basics. Yeah, I mean, I'm rooting for them. I hope it turns out.
I do hope so. I mean, that to me really shows the decentral nature of these chains, right? I mean, there's a
Mm,
token, it completely failed, something gone wrong, and now the community is coming together and building this up because they can propose stuff, and if
yeah.
most of the
Hmm.
nodes accept that code, then it's that way, that way or the highway. But
Yeah.
yeah, this could either be very good, very bad. Obviously, this is not financial advice for anyone wanting to trade these tokens. We're just simply talking about them. But at the end of the day, the community is trying to
Yeah.
burn, most of the supply, which is at 6 trillion, or I don't even know. It's like huge. I don't know if you have any news that you've been
Uh
hearing.
well, yeah, let's see. So there's this big Solana hack or exploit rather that's been unfolding in the last few days. We're recording this on the 4th of August. And there was like, I think a 24-hour period where there was a lot of panic because I wasn't sure what was happening. But basically, a lot of people's wallets were just being drained of all of their Sol token. And people, there was like fear and panic. Is this an exploit on the Solana level, or is this a Phantom wallet exploit? Phantom wallet is like by far the most popular wallet that people use, and so people were moving their assets to hardware wallets, which is obviously smart and a good thing to do. It also came out that it was it wasn't, it was a private key exploit. So if you were one of the victims, the attackers got access to your private keys, and that means they can basically do anything. And the way it worked was that, I mean, to my understanding, is there's this third party service called Slope.finance, and they had an exploit on their end, and so it was like a bug in the code or like an oversight that they they took users' private keys and then they're meant to like scrub them and delete them, but for whatever reason they didn't, and then someone was able to find out how to reverse engineer and get access to those. And so it was at least somewhat isolated to only the people who had interacted with this protocol, but it was a large enough protocol. They got like 10,000 wallets and 10
Wow.
million plus dollars, I think. So bad,
Sure.
but could have been a lot worse. And yeah,
Are you using the Solana network?
not actively. So I have some Sol and I bought some NFTs there, but honestly, I bought NFTs there over a year ago, like April 2021. Some of the first NFTs because I was like, hey, new network first NFTs, these are got to be good.
Yeah.
And then it just got like I can't keep up with 1% of what happens on ETH, let alone trying to do other chains. So
Yeah.
it just sort of yeah
Oh man, I must say that luckily my wallet didn't get affected on the Phantom wallet, but yeah, I mean I got myself an OK Bear. I don't know if you know about that project.
yeah.
So I
They had a strong community or have a strong community.
yeah, it's like I don't know. I see it as the base here of Solana.
Yeah.
It's very cool. I like the OK base, but just another exploit I saw there is they recently had a token drop and they drop these coins. But if you look in your wallet, you get some random coins, from different contracts. So people who have OK Bears or any token really, and this is something I just want to point out. These days, people send you NFTs for free and don't take
Mm,
them as a gift. Like literally hide those tokens. Don't even interact with them. Don't send them anywhere. Just leave them there. Because the problem is those contracts are set up. As soon as you start interacting with these tokens, it could expose your wallet.
yeah.
And yeah, that's what I've been seeing. The coins are perfect. They're okay, but obviously hackers knows about those tokens, so they've created fake ones. That's just
Yeah.
something that I've seen on
It's so
Solana.
crazy. Yeah, it happens on ETH all the time too. People just get airdropped junk for lack of a better word, or things that look legit, but then they have a very low floor price. And yeah, just I think there's a few attack vectors. One is interacting with the token and the smart contract. You should never if you're not if you're unfamiliar with it and you don't know where it came from, just like you said, hide it and don't think twice. Don't sell it. Don't transfer it. Don't burn it. Just hide it. Hiding it on say OpenSea, it's an off-chain transaction, so you don't have to actually interact with the smart contract. So but then the second way that they get you, well, actually, there's two more ways. One is that they on the collection page on OpenSea, they have links to their Twitter and their website and stuff. And if you click on the website link, maybe you'll see that it's minting now or something like that, and that's a scam and a malicious link, and that they drain your wallet. And the other way is they now, I guess, it's less for when they airdrop you something, but what people are doing is they do a lot of wash trading on OpenSea. Like we've seen wash trading on other marketplaces, Looks Rare, X2Y2, but now people will do it on OpenSea to the extent like just buying and selling back from wallets they own so that it gets like enough volume to crack into the top 10 top 15 daily volume on OpenSea because these days market is very bearish. You can do that with 200-300 ETH in volume, and all of a sudden like and they what they do is they steal someone's art, which is awful, and then they just upload that as new NFTs, wash trade, and people go, hey, this art looks cool because it is amazing art because it's from a known artist, but it's stolen. And then people buy these NFTs, and sometimes the floor is like 2 or 3 ETH. And yeah, it's something to be aware of.
And
It's a shame.
how would you how can you prepare for something like that? Because obviously, for someone that's new in this space, they see these NFTs and they see it on
Mm,
OpenSea. They feel like trust OpenSea, and this is something people need to realize. You can trust OpenSea, but you never know the intent of the team behind a token, right? So there's
yeah,
always that due diligence that
100%.
everyone needs to do. But what are some of the methods you try? Roy, what do you do to make sure that a project's legit if you want to mint one?
Yeah, it's really honestly, it can be really tough, especially for someone newer to the space. And I think that like like do your own research is something we always say, and like if you see something on OpenSea and it's trending and it's high in volume, that is one data point. And I think that you always want to gather many data points in order to make an informed decision. So you see it on OpenSea, then you go check out the website carefully. You go check out the Twitter. You go see what other people are saying about it. And but that even that's not enough, because now what they do is they have their Twitter account set up and like with fake accounts following it and people hyping it up. So honestly, the best and most uh, trusted way I would say of navigating this is to find other community members and people in the space that you know and trust and like value their opinions of. And this is why like Discord communities and groups are so valuable, because you can ask the wisdom of the crowd basically and be like, hey, what do you guys think of this project? Maybe it seems too good to be true, or it looks cool. And then you get multiple people weighing in, and hopefully, by getting more brains on it, people go, hey, this seems a little suspicious. I looked at the transactions. It doesn't make sense. I recognize the art. That's something that happens a lot. And be like, hey, I've seen this collection before. Uh, Something that really stood out to me and made me confident that something was a scam is there was a collection on the front page like a week ago, and the art looked really, really cool. And they claimed to be generative art, and they had these nice borders and stuff like that. And I went to Twitter, and they had a few thousand followers, and then then there were no shared followers, so like no one I was following was also following them, and I follow a ton of generative artists. And then I was like, all right, this seems very suspicious. And then so what I did was I went and asked in the art blocks Discord and a couple of other generative art focused Discords, hey, has anyone heard of this project? Because the community is not that large, and usually generative artists will know of the other projects. And that's when people came out and said, hey, no, well, no, but that's someone else's work. I recognize that work from elsewhere, and
Yeah.
yeah, this is a scam. So it takes a lot of research, but you should get in the habit of doing that research. I think that's
Um,
how the scammers get you. They prey on FOMO and yeah,
well, it's
yeah,
it's research that you need to do, right? Because it just takes one slip up, and
yeah,
especially if you're not careful and you have beautiful NFTs in a wallet, you never know what could happen. You could lose the
yeah,
NFTs. So I guess just as a general rule of thumb, create yourself some cold storage wallets and place those NFTs in those wallets.
yeah,
Don't leave them in your MetaMask. I'm guilty of that sometimes. I think everyone is,
yeah,
because you're just like
yeah,
risking it for a little bit. But at the end of
yeah,
the day, get those NFTs, off the hot wallets that you are using the whole day, because sooner or later,
yeah.
you always say it will never happen to you until the day it happens to
It
you.
can happen to anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was one of like the most prolific traders and collectors who did it happen. It happened to him recently, where he just wasn't thinking straight, was a bit distracted and tired, and I think there was a fake oddities nesting site where, I mean, there is no oddities nesting, but he saw it seemed legit, went there, connected his hot wallet, and they drained a bunch of high value assets, objectively high value assets, like I think tens, maybe hundreds of ETH worth. But he had a cold wallet set up that has like he's a massive whale with thousands of ETH worth of NFTs. So it's all relative, but this is someone who had tweeted many times the importance of wallet security, and it's had been in the space for years and years and years and knew all this stuff, but it just takes 5 seconds of not thinking straight, and that's how they get you. So yeah, best
Yeah.
practice is to move things to cold storage, but also I think mint from a burner wallet. Like if you're going to mint something, just get into the habit of just sending the ETH required for the mint. And with gas so low these days, I sent some ETH from one wallet to another. It cost less than 20 cents,
Oh
and
wow.
so
When was that?
it's so crazy.
What's the gas right now?
It was in the last few days. Gwei was 2 at the time,
Man.
which is like I don't know 2017 levels or
Where is
something.
8
Yeah,
right now? It's so low these days,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Thousand grays.
I remember, yeah, like yeah, hundreds of dollars in gas, and like I remember like $50 to mint something was considered cheap. It was a different time. It was really crazy
Yeah.
when you think about it.
It's
But
strange. It's
yeah,
strange how, and I had these conversations with my team. When you live in the crypto world and Ethereum and all these NFT spaces, for some reason, $50 for a mint doesn't seem a lot, but $50 in cash when you have to
yeah.
spend it, you're like,
There's this art blocks. piece collection called Meridian. It's beautiful. I love it. It's a lovely piece of art, and the artist behind it has created a book. So a book of he selected I think 100 or 50 or something of the pieces, and he wrote some commentary, and it's this beautiful looking coffee table book, and he it's for sale for $55. But if you own a Meridian, you get it for free, and the floor price of Meridian is like 7 or 8 ETH. And so I saw this, and my DGen brain was like, "Is it worth buying another Meridian for $10,000 to save $55 on this checkout?"
Oh
Yeah,
man.
it's ludicrous.
Yeah, I mean,
You know.
because you start thinking differently. And look, yeah, I don't want to make this channel ever about politics and finances and so on,
Mm,
really. But I think the world is starting to move into a new space, and I think people are going to see this happening pretty soon with everything, all these events happening in the world, unfortunate events, and all these things. But
mm,
I think we're still in the right space, not still, we are in the right space. We are doing the right thing. And I honestly think that these
yeah,
chats just help people just understand the space a bit more, what we, see and do throughout the day, things that people need to look out for.
yeah,
So, Roy, I think for now we can call this one, and then we'll
yeah.
chat next month
This
again,
has been a great.
man.
I love it. I mean, honestly, I could chat to you just for hours and hours and hours, and we will over
Same,
the course
man.
of forever. Yeah,
Absolutely. We'll keep on doing
it's
this
been
thing.
awesome.
So, anyone listening, we'll do this once a month. We'll have a catch up session. So, you'll find the news throughout the months. But, Roy, Zeneca over here, go and check out Zeneca's channels. Also, he has an amazing academy called ZenAcademy. So, if you want to learn more, go and check him out. And till next time, guys, have a fantastic day. Cheers for now.